When it came to BG3, everybody was telling you gotta make DLC.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta make DLC, and really you should be starting on a sequel. Right? This is so successful, it makes so much money. And so for a while I was actually, I say, yeah, that's what we should be doing. We should change our plans, we should be doing that. And so team actually said, yeah, we should be doing that. And then, but then later in the year I realized, well, that's not what we're made for. I mean, like, that's literally the opposite of what Larian is about. We want to do big new things. We don't want to rehash the thing that we've done already. So that's when we said, oh, we're not going to do that. So we're just back on our original plan, which is going to the next thing.
Right.
So that was Sven Vinke. And now we know it's official. It's been confirmed that there will be no content going forward in the future for Baldur's Gate 3. No DLC, no expansions, no new packs, nothing. And this is the place where I need to admit that I was wrong. I, of course, offered multiple theories about expansions or DLC, and apparently I was wrong about all of that. I'm not ashamed to admit it, we're all wrong sometimes, and I don't think it was an unreasonable calculation, all things considered. By every metric, he had suggested it, and he also stated that he had considered doing it. And so in proposing theories and ideas, I don't think anyone was wrong, because he had considered doing it, it's just he's made the decision now to not do that. And I understand that. I cannot lie, though, in the sense that I am very disappointed. You see, I like Dungeons & Dragons a lot. I've spent countless decades on and off with Dungeons & Dragons, and to hear this is a bit of a blow, I'm not going to lie. Now, I understand, of course, the calculus he's making, and it's very reasonable. As he said, Larian is a studio that makes a project, finishes the project, and then moves on. And on the bright side, of course, this will make it possible for more mods to be made with greater stability and consistency, and the modding scene in Baldur's Gate 3 is absolutely fantastic. So that's a good thing. But again, I'm pretty disappointed. I don't think there's a right or wrong decision here, because expansions don't have to be terrible. If you consider, for example, the expansions to Witcher 3, which is to say Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, respectively, both are absolutely fantastic and only add immense quality to the game, on top of quantity. And so it's not a foregone conclusion to assume expansions will necessarily be bad, though they often are. And I think many of us, myself included, as I said, had hoped that Larian would embark in just such a project, similar to CD Projekt Red, and put out either a very nice expansion, or two, connected to Baldur's Gate 3 or Dungeons & Dragons. But as he stated, they are done with D&D. And here's where we could speculate, is it because they no longer wish to work with Hasbro, or they no longer wish to work with Wizards of the Coast? We will never know the answer to that question. But if I were a betting man, and I'm not really, I would say that it probably has nothing to do with either Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro, and everything to do with the delightful and mad and very positive machinations of none other than Sven Vinke. As he stated here and in many other places, he's the type of guy, and logically his company, to make a game, finish the game, and move on, because he gets the jitters, he gets antsy, and he wants to work on the next project. He has all these ideas flowing in his head for a new game, for a new story, for new mechanics, and so on and so forth. And so I can understand that. I'm sympathetic to that idea. And of course, one thing that we do know is that this will be an RPG. Absolutely 100% an RPG. What type of RPG, we have no idea. Many people are speculating Divinity Original Sin 3. I don't think it's that, because Sven Vinke has said several times that this is something completely new. So it's not going to be like Baldur's Gate 3. It's not going to be like Divinity Original Sin. What will it be? Who knows? He has hinted in the past at a science fiction title, which could be very interesting, although science fiction is not really my forte, but I still enjoy it to some degree. So we just don't know. But ultimately, to me, and I think to many others, disappointing. Because I think part of this is when you're really connected to a game, the story, the mechanics, the whole shebang, you really get into that game, you want more and more of it. And so it's a bit sad to have to part ways with it, where you say, that's it, there's nothing else coming, I guess I just have to make do. And of course, the modding scene is very vibrant, as I said, and it's only going to get better with time, once official mod support drops. But again, yeah, pretty disappointing. And at this stage, we can only speculate as to what the next game might be. It will be some kind of RPG, but in terms of the genre, and what it covers, and the story, and even the mechanics, it's not entirely clear. In all likelihood, it will probably be some kind of turn-based game. And as Sven always says, they like to iterate upon things they've done in the past. They made a ton of money. So moving on to the next project, whatever that might be. But ladies and gentlemen, I think there's one other tragic element here. Because if you think about it, this could very well be the last D&D game of any substance ever released, at least for a very long time. And for many people, this was their introduction into RPGs. Whatever D&D has become over the years, it still has that core, that base. And the idea that this is the final Dungeons & Dragons game to be made for the foreseeable future makes me even sadder than I already was when I found out about the unfortunate news that there will be neither DLC nor expansions. Because again, there's nothing inherently wrong with DLCs and expansions as long as they add quality to the game and they are good. They've decided not to make them, so that's it. No more D&D from Larian, and probably no more D&D from anybody going forward, and that is a bloody shame. And one final point. I think whatever Larian makes as the next game will be excellent. They have a proven track record. It's true they could falter, but it's very unlikely, and it'll probably be just as compelling as Baldur's Gate 3, but that's what I have to say about this. What do you guys think? Are you just as disappointed as I am? Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Let me know in the comment section, and I will check you out soon. I do apologize, I've been very busy with IRL and things of that nature, but after this there will be more content coming soon. I fully plan on it, and hopefully at a much more frequent pace. So until then, thank you for tuning in. Do subscribe if you like my content, it'd be much appreciated. Leave a like, comment, all that YouTube jazz, and I'll check you out next time. Take care.